Admiral's log. The sudden declaration of war from Germany has sent shockwaves through the halls of power, catching us completely off guard. The Germans, long at the forefront of naval engineering, possess a formidable fleet and an economy 3 times the size of our own. Their battleships, renowned for their strength and firepower, represent a formidable challenge unlike any we have faced before. As news of the declaration reaches our shores, I find myself filled with a sense of apprehension and concern. The prospect of engaging in open conflict with such a formidable adversary is daunting, to say the least. Their naval prowess is legendary and their technological superiority is unmatched. How are we to contend with such a formidable foe? These are questions that weigh heavily on my mind as I ponder the best course of action in the face of this new threat. The safety and security of our nation depend on our ability to adapt and respond effectively to the challenges that lie ahead. But how are we to confront an enemy whose strength and resources dwarf our own? Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome to episode 30. In the previous video, I teased this one fight, the Hildebrand from the Germans, a Bayern-class battleship against the State Belt. This is not going to be an easy fight. That German battleship has a lot of advantages over me. Tonnage, armor, firepower, tech. The State Belt is, I'd say, a trusted design. Although this particular model is slightly older. She has not yet received her refits. Oh, and we're in a storm as well. Now, the ship is armed with 16-inch guns. They are only the Mark III. So, as such, they're not as long, nor are they as capable as the one on the previous battle that I did against one of these Hildebrand-class ships. Sorry, the Hildebrand class? Bayern class. Whether this ship is able to take on the enemy, I don't know. I thought it would have actually slightly better guns than it does. I'm concerned in fighting a $12 billion warship. But while we're here, the enemy can shoot as far as I can. No, yeah, just about 30 clicks. And those 17-inchers reload as quickly as mine. Maybe I have a crew advantage, because I know that those German ships are a bit confined. They have cramped crew quarters, and that means crew likely to suffer. Crew casualties with a ship that densely packed are inevitable. And the last fight that I had against one of these guys, the ship surrendered. I think giving me about 100,000 victory points for that ship. I do believe that this ship, the enemy, only needs a couple of good hits with those 17-inch guns to go right through me. Thankfully, both main deck and main belt on the State Belt are very heavily protected. So, hopefully, if I do take a hit, it's going to be a partial pen, as opposed to be a full pen. I think at this range, the ship isn't that dangerous yet. Yeah, she can pen the superstructure, but that's about it. When it comes to my ability to deal damage, the enemy ship is also very heavily armored and angled, at least in the current state of affairs. So my armor piercing, not that good of an option just yet. That's why I'm sticking to high explosive, also to maximize crew loss, because at the moment, crew loss I think is the easiest way to get rid of these things. Not necessarily the nicest way, but this is a battle, not a barbecue. Although, well, might turn into a barbecue for the Germans fairly quickly. Now, I am at a very difficult point in my journey, which is trying to turn away from the enemy. And thereby also bringing all of my 8-inchers to bear. I got casemates, believe it or not. But that means I'm going to be susceptible to their firepower. There we go. This ship is crewed by regulars, has lost 6%. I've lost 8%. And this ship, with many bulkheads and cramped crew quarters, well, we're going to need some serious damage on her. The only thing that they don't have, surprisingly, is armor. So, at this range, I should be able to make some 16-inch holes in that ship. But so far, everything just ricochets. I'm not sure if they got some... Yeah, they got a first inner belt and a second inner belt. And a third inner belt. They got inner belts for days. Also, they have torpedo launchers. So that's something I need to be very, very mindful of. Blocked. Because those torpedo launchers can kill me. They will flood the ship, leading to all sorts of disasters. And it looks like she's angling to do just that. Ow, ow, ow. Can we actually start punching back, please? 19% crew is dead. Blocked? Thankfully, one flooding. She seems to be racing ahead. Not sure why she's not launching her torps, but don't interrupt the enemy when they're making a mistake. All the more so, because most of her firepower is on her bow. She's largely unable to deal any kind of damage to me, as long as I stay behind her. So let's do just that. Also, the more of her crew dies, the worse her reload gets. Well, you'd hope so. I mean, her reload's 54 seconds. Yeah, we got another bit of flooding on you. It would be ideal if I can lock that ship's rudder into place right now. Because by doing that, this ship actually has a shot. No pun intended. If I am able to stay behind her. She even has a fire in front of her. That's impressive. More flooding. That HE of mine's going right through. But I have just lost my superstructure. That's 29% of the crew loss. 30%. 31%. Her crew loss is only 16%. The crew loss angle is not going to work. I cannot trade well enough. And she's already turned around. Oh, I think I might lose this ship. I think it would be the first battleship in a long, long time that I've lost. 36% crew loss. It's gonna be an expensive loss. Destroyed their secondary tower. They're at 19% crew loss. I'm at 36. And they're just circling me like I'm some sort of prey. Now my bow guns can't fire. I can try turning the other way, but my rudder doesn't work that well. Oh, this is gonna hurt. No, most of it got blocked. 38.9% crew loss, they only lost 20. They barely lost any structural integrity, whereas I lost 40%. And some buoyancy. Fire! There you go, 2,000 points of damage. Bit more crew lost, but I am at 41%! Yikes. Now, I couldn't have kept the ship at range even if I wanted to, because I can only do 22 knots. She could do 31, so running away was actually never an option in hindsight. Yeah. Am I gonna try the AP angle again? We're getting some decent results with HE. I mean, flooding-wise, but my ship won't live long enough to capitalize on it. I need one... like 100 guys? No, yes, shit, surrendered. Yeah, okay. So that happened. That's 19,000 victory points for them. Thankfully, that's not the end of the battle. At least, not the end of the war. The situation is such that my ships are, well, relatively cheap compared to those German ones. Those German ones come in at 12 billion. Mine only cost 12 billion. No, mine only cost 2 billion. So, looking at their massive price tag, this means they don't get as many victory points because they sunk, well, a ship that's not that expensive. Seeing as 17-inch guns were the death of me, I think it's time for some 18-inch payback. We have the Shield Bearer, we have a very weirdly dancing Maximus, and we have the Heizhou, as well as the Shandong. It's a bit of a mix of everything. I'm going to have the battleship and the heavy cruiser together, and the DD and the CL together. These ships are going to go up against at least one German heavy cruiser, because these guys are trying to do a port strike. They unfortunately have a cloaking device as part of a smokescreen generator. Now, I quite like this design. Very, very German. In the sense that it has these... well, actually, maybe a bit Graf Spee-ish. You got the triangular tower, you got the main inch, or the main guns, which are 10-inchers. We got another 10-inchers on the stern, and we got torpedo launchers on the back. So, definitely Graf Spee-esque. Let's see how well she responds to threats of the 18-inch persuasion. My ships are definitely not going to be quick, nor do they really need to be. I just need to be out here defending the place. That's the key part. I need to be defending my ships, and so long as I have a range advantage, I will happily make use of that. He said, and rushed his battleship into range. Now, the shield bearer is an old, relatively old ship. It's the, let's say, the galleon-esque type, which has all those 8.9s as casemates. These casemates are long. They have a very good range. Unfortunately, they don't turn very well. Like, there's not a lot of wiggle in those casemates. Actually, sorry, these are the 3.9s. These are the 8s. The 8s have a bit more leeway and can be very useful in wiping out a couple of these ships. So far, we've already crippled one of them. That's good. That's a light cruiser. Judging by the state of that scratch on the bow, you'd think that their torpedo launcher is no longer functional. But I think that would be a disappointment, because I think it is very much functional. Alright, gentlemen. You guys are scouting. Well, I think we already found the enemy. Let's smoke up. I am targeting a light cruiser, so my chances of actually getting it hit with a torpedo launcher, or with a torpedo, fairly slim. But what these guys might be able to do, is serve as a distraction. So you're going to continue on your merry way, slightly turn to starboard, you're going to continue on your way to port, and potentially either serve as a lightning rod for shell fire, or for torpedoes. Or both. Giving my battleship a bit more time to eliminate these things with extreme prejudice. What the hell was that? It was not the 18-incher, that was a 9-incher. And it completely crippled the cruiser and took her out. Here's the next. I mean, the 18-inch gun, it's a gimmick. It's purely a scare factor, really. Because it's just not doing a whole lot of damage. It's done 140 so far. Let's say that the 18-incher is there for show. It's the intimidation weapon. Does it actually do anything? No. Sadly not. It doesn't do anything. Let's get the Hejao to turn. Maximus 2. Although maybe we can drop some torps on our way out. Especially Maximus has a couple of torpedo launchers, which might still be able to turn into the given direction. Inflict some harm. Come on, I want to get that cruiser out of the way. Here we launched part of the complement of the Maximus. The Hejao has seen better days. Let's get you back. Maximus has spent most of the torpedoes. Let's get you back as well. Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa! What? Where'd they go? You didn't get hit by a dot. Oh, there's more. Here's more. You didn't get hit by a dud. The Hejao is really old. I just never bothered to upgrade these things because I have so few of them. But I thought, I'll just scrap them, but they're still around. How you doing, shield bearer? 12 clicks out. Are we doing anything? Oh yeah, the 18-inch hit again. But, like a partial... main deck, partial pen, 200 points of damage. More for comedic relief at this point than anything else. That's unwanted. There's a lot of unwanted attention. Actually, don't speed up. Maybe we can turn the bow in. Slip into this gap here. Now you go full ahead flank. Ooh, I don't really care about the Shandong that much. Ow, ow, ow. Damn torpedoes. Thankfully, my torpedoes... Or, sorry, my ships come with a fairly good torpedo blister. So most of the time, they're able to handle these hits. Some of the time, those really hurt. Such as I'm still flooding from just getting hit by 2 torpedoes. And that was probably this guy. Yeah, definitely this guy. And that was a 20-inch torpedo. It could have been way worse. Could have been a 24. That would have sucked. Alright, Hansa. Time's up. $500 million cruiser. As opposed to the... Ooh, the Shandong is looking pretty bad. I need you to, and I'm not sure exactly if this works, disable the guns and focus on damage control. Supposedly, it allows you to get more people into damage control, but, well, I haven't actually lost anyone. So I'm not sure exactly if that's true. Is this light cruiser a torpedo threat? Come on. No. She can reach out to 12 kilometers. Not going to consider her a threat. The Hansa is hanging on by 2% buoyancy. Come on. Shall we finish this? HE. The ship's been hit so many times it doesn't have any armor left. We can just finish her off. You'd think. Main deck partial pen. Oh, I'm sorry. Is your 3-inch of armor stopping my 18-inch shell? Right. Well, I guess if I hit the deck, yeah, it will stop it. Look at the Hansa just rebuoyancying the boat. Pumping all the water back out and maintaining a buoyancy of 16%. How far is that CL? God, why is this thing so hard to click? Oh, you're making your way out at best speed. I don't think I'll catch that guy. That's fine, we'll settle for your heavy cruiser. 18-inch gun do anything? Yeah, 7k. Would a 13-inch gun have done more? Maybe. If I'm dividing, let's say, the damage, maybe the 13-inch would have done more. Especially two 13-inches would have probably done more. Anyway, I got my revenge. This means that I lost about 12,000 points of victory points, but I also gained another 11.8. So we're just about even. And especially when it comes to the relative victory score, we're way ahead. Now, of course, we're not just playing this war on the waters. We're also playing this war on land. Which means that the army has come up with the fantastic idea, the German army that is, to invade. How many men? 25,000. What are they invading? Southern China. How many is defending that? 5 million. Good luck, Germany. Bhutan is a very different story, because we have 21,000 guys coming to visit our 11,000 soldiers. I don't think that's going to be working out too well with their army logistics of 100 and mine of 9. Goodbye, Bhutan. It's been fun. Can I get some revenge? Can I do my own naval invasion? Because I was trying to get my fleet together. I can invade the Falklands, yes. That's nice, but that's not exactly what I want. That's this group here. I'd rather have them continue to lose ships around here. So I'm going to split off my destroyer. And have the other two move forward. Or rather back, depending on how you want to look at that. So you guys are going to continue on there. Those new ships. Building 1 month, then we're going to be fielding them. It's going to take a little bit of time. I cannot build any new ships anytime soon because I'm a little busy building and repairing most of my navy. We got one more convoy mission coming up. Oh, the Enigma Hun. Okay, maybe we can get some more 18-inch fun before my convoy gets torpedoed by all of these German ships. The enemy starts 25 kilometers out, and this is potentially risky for my transports. So I'm going to do something I don't really want to do, which is put the Enigma Hun at more risk than it ought to be. She can take a torpedo. She can take 2. She can take 4 if she has to. My transports really can't. These guys are defenseless, so I have to make sure that I get as much damage in as possible and present myself as a massive threat. Because while my transports are armed, well, it's only a 2-inch gun. It's not exactly going to deter a destroyer from attacking with torpedoes if they got them at 15-kilometer range. Let's see, can the 8-inch guns do anything against this small ship here? Because that's, torpedo-wise, one of the biggest hazards. We've already done some damage here against the heavy. That's also carrying a substantial amount of torpedoes, as well as 8 10-inch guns. This is a different design. Over here we find... oh dear. Main guns, not that dangerous, but that deck over there houses a far more dangerous surprise. And this warship here is of a similar design. Okay, we're going to target this guy. You're going to fire HE with the main guns. Considering what we put out, that should be sufficient to make... Yeah, there we go. To make their bow go away. And let a whole lot of water circulate through the ship. Gotta wash out your ship every now and then. So long as it's hostile. So let's see if we can get a couple of shells to fly far. That'd be great. Maybe targeting this and then getting some fantastic accuracy on the on the cruiser here. I wonder if that still works. No. Ooh, good hit. Destroyed the conning tower. 18-inch right through the main tower. No, there was an 80-inch. There's the secondary damage that I wanted. We're 9 kilometers out from these torpedo spammers. I think that's close enough. The one thing I don't like about the Enigma Hun class is that she has to go broadside in order to use most of her firepower. Especially if I want to fire both of the 13s and all of those 3.9s and 8.9s, like the whole set, you're going to be very fragile. You're going to be very exposed, both to incoming torpedoes and to enemy firepower. Thankfully, those 10s, I don't think they're that dangerous to the ship. But the closer they get, the more pen they will develop. And that can, in fact, become very dangerous. Now this guy's gone. I'm gonna put the... Whoops. Put the main guns on this. And I think HE should be fine. I am, however, lacking HE on these ships. I don't have enough shells. Need to work on that. So in the next refit, I need to go not maximum AP. Because that's what they currently... Actually, they don't even have that. They've got increased AP. I need to put that about half and half. In order to balance out the amount of HE shells that I bring on these fights. Come on. There's another main gun destroyed. Now they're flooding. I'm very curious to see how the French are doing their war against the Germans. Because I believe that the French are... Well, they don't have as many colonies anymore. And they might be able to take a bunch of the German attention back to Europe in order to release the pressure over here in the Caribbean. Make sure that I don't take as much attention. You launch torpedoes at me. Scoundrel. Turn to starboard again. The Atlantis is going to do something similar. And so is the Köln. Ooh. Very nice. Ship's name is Atlantis. We'll make sure that she gets to visit that place fairly soon. And gone. You also launched. Can we all stop with the torpedoes, perhaps? It's really bad for the health of the Enigma Hun. Oh. Oop. Well, only one so far. There's the rest. Whole fanfare. Thankfully, nothing hit. That could have been pretty bad. Gotcha. Okay, so I took some flooding, but not as much as the Köln or the Atlantis. A lot of off-screen battles later, the enemy German fleet has been severely diminished. Not so much because I decided to go after this fleet, but they came after me. They went after my convoys, one after the other. And because they did that, well, they started losing a cruiser here, a light cruiser there, a destroyer here, another cruiser there. So it's not so much of how do you devour the elephant, or the elephant, well, you just shoot the elephant. This is a huge elephant, so I'm just taking one bite at a time out of it. And whereas the Germans used to have a lot of ships with about 3.5 times my tonnage, I'm now actually not... What? Oh, I lost an $80,000 ship. Or sorry, 80,000 ton ship. I was gonna go, what? What happened? Well, I lost a ship. It's not as bad. They still have 21 battleships. They still have a lot of escorts. But Slowly but steadily we're getting there. This, however, has me a little concerned. The Dominican Republic is getting invaded by Haiti. I may have a lot of men on that little island. However, the situation is dire. Because I have already lost 45,000 men, stopping 9,000 Germans. So yeah, we're we're not playing even there. However, the German advance is only at 1%. So unless they're able to conjure up a whole lot more invasion forces, we should have them here. As for the rest of the victory points, we're 217,000 versus 26,000. So we got a nice markup there. But of course, as this is Germany, there's more ships on the way. My war with the US is a cold one. I'm expecting an invasion here, southeastern seaboard or even central USA. The question is, which direction is that invasion gonna go? I don't know. I might have some soldiers, or I don't know, a couple million, walk into southeastern seaboard, or the US is gonna do that to me. As for the US and their army logistics is even worse. Because they have no ships. They got 5% army logistics. Oh, that makes my 9% look great. Okay, well, I can't wait to invade more of the USA and get some of that. Because the USA has been almost fully reconstituted. And, well, so have the British, but the US is looking a bit safer. And the US, after having gone, well, dissolved already, and then coming back, is actually doing better than the Soviet Union, which actually has a navy, but they have absolutely no army logistics. 3%. Spain, 28%. The French, only 36%. Then we got 43% on the Austro-Hungarians, 100% on Italy, and 100% on Germany. This has me somewhat concerned. So, are you ready for a bit of a holy shit, that's a big fleet moment? Because here we go. I have two battleships, the Shield Bearer, armed with a couple of 13-inchers and one 18-inch, well, dual barrel 18-inch, and the Hardnutter, again, similar loadout. The enemy has the Thüringen. Is that the same? Nope, it's a different battleship. This thing comes in at $4 billion, sports 16-inch guns, and can travel up to 32 knots. She also has two other battleships in that fleet. She has the Preußen and the Westfalen, both Kurfürst Friedrich Wilhelm class battleships with 14-inch guns, good speed, and a hefty price tag. And a lot of cruisers. My 5 ships are extremely outgunned, outnumbered, and in trouble. This is gonna be fun. So what's the plan for this fight? Well, stay at range. My 18-incher and 13-inchers have good range, so I'm going to capitalize on that. The cruisers and the destroyer, they're all going to sit in the same division. This is just going to be one big line, and we are not going to approach until I absolutely have to. I am not eager to do this fight, but, well, we might be able to take a couple 100,000 victory points off their hands, especially with the sinking of this behemoth, and that is worth it. Now, for a ship over 100,000 tons, just having 6 13.3-inch guns on it feels a little cluster. Its speed is pretty good. It's got a hefty amount of secondaries. But where is the rest? I think it's armor? Leading me to believe that this ship is extremely heavily armored. But I could be wrong. We'll just see how this thing eventually identifies. And maybe we can flood it. I mean, there's always a way to sink a ship. You can either sink it by flooding it, you can destroy it, superstructure does, or structural integrity to 0, you can kill off the crew. You can, if you're adamant, you can go for an extensive fire overwhelm. Which isn't terribly likely, especially not in the mod that I'm running, but it is possible. So I might just try for that. As for the range that this thing has, it's... Ooh, juicy ammo detonation there. Sorry, I didn't even intend to hit you. As for it in range, yeah, it definitely has range. These other battleships might not, but probably soon will have range. Oh yeah, they got range alright, at the 44 clicks. That's nice. Oh, that was an 18-inch damage. Sorry, dude. You got hit by? Not a smooth criminal, but an 18-inch shell. Causing almost the same effects. Anyway, this battleship right here. I cannot outrun it. My ships simply don't have that speed. I can only move at 22 knots. Another serious concern that I have is that my HE shells are running low. I simply don't carry that many, and my ships don't get enough of a break, i.e. every single battle they're engaged, so I don't actually get any time to refit them and give them more high explosive shells. All of this is very concerning. Very, very concerning. Switch targets. See if this guy is not behind smoke. Yeah, he's not behind. He's got thick smokes from his own funnel. My ships, but at least this guy's not behind smoke anymore. Put secondaries on that. Let's just put some armor piercing on that ship. At least the 18s have some chance of going through. The Maximus. Oh crap, you haven't even reloaded your torpedo launchers? Yeah, this ship did fight in one of the previous encounters, but did not get a reload. Josh Miller, same situation. It only has 6 torpedoes aboard for a quadruple launcher. So the ship's not been reloaded, and that explains why these battleships don't have the HE ammo, and potentially not even the AP ammo that they need. With the amount of ammunition I carry, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. And I cannot disengage from said trouble either. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, I can at least make it expensive for them. If they want to engage, they can. But it's going to get expensive. We're going to save shells until we have a good accuracy. Let's see if the Maximus can be useful by putting up a smoke screen right about here. Of course, smoke works both ways. No, it doesn't work that far away. At least I might be able to get an identification on these ships a bit faster. Like, look at the sheer amount of stuff here. Stuff? Yeah, stuff. Why are you drifting? Oh, you're not. Okay, I want to see exactly what I'm dealing with regards to these big ships. These don't scare me as much, because it's only 14-inch, and my ships have pretty good armor. But that big one, it's one that has me a bit concerned. There's the Westfalen. Many bulkheads, spacious quarters. There goes the crew loss angle. Still possible, but not as likely. Armor? Ooh. The Germans have forgotten something. The main belt, well done. Fore belt, aft belt, okay. The main deck has a lot less armor than the fore and the aft, making not a whole lot of sense. And then we got the conning tower and the superstructure at 1 inch. So it's very easy, supposedly, to blow away your superstructure. Did you launch your torpedoes, or did you... No, your torpedo launchers got destroyed. Well, that's unfortunate. Now you're flooding. That's all the more unfortunate. Okay, guys, turn. Got the Josh engaging... something. The Westfalen. Okay, we also got that big battleship identified now, Thüringen. What's your story? 18-inch main belt, near enough. Almost no superstructure. Main deck, 3, 3, 2.2. Fore belt, 3.2. You got flaws. Many bulkheads, but cramped crew quarters. Okay, you carry quite a lot of ammo, but most of it is AP. Your speed's good. You got Crypt 3 for armor. Okay. Capitalistic HE shells. Fine. You got no rangefinder. Well, not a radar rangefinder anyway. I do. Though it's only a Gen 1 on these ships. Because they simply cannot catch a break. I'm going to try and get some damage in on that big guy. And then disengage. That's the plan. Primary guns on that. Shandong and Josh Miller. You don't have any range yet. Fine. Because I suspect that my 18-inch gun might actually be able to inflict some damage here. Especially on the superstructure. And if I miss a shell, well, there should be another ship around to catch it. Like that. That's when the 13-inchers still come in useful. Far less intimidating than these 16-inch shells on the turret engine or the 18-inch shells aboard the shield bearer and the hard nutter themselves, but no less useful. Although, of course, that one hit that did a ton of damage kind of gives you a different picture. What are you guys targeting? You can target this with your mains. Don't care about the Westphalen at the moment. You also got many bulkheads, right? So flooding you out is not that easy to do. Outrunning these things is almost impossible. Yeah, I don't really know how to sink that thing. Not with limited ammo, not with a ship that doesn't have a whole lot of armor. I mean, not enough to tank this thing for a consistent amount of time. And not against this many threats. So, we're gonna make them decide who they want to face, who they want to target. I'm gonna split up my division. Shandong is gonna go with you, and you're gonna get the Miller. Okay. This way, I'm gonna have these guys go at 90-degree angles, more or less, relative to each other. So they're gonna have to decide which ship they want to really chase down, if any. And ideally, at least one of these battleships is going to survive. That's the plan. We're gonna run at flank speed. The cruisers, if I so desire, can run even faster than that. Come on, we're not getting any kind of damage in on the Thüringen. And the Westphalen is so well armored and so well angled. I don't think I can get any kind of damage in on her either. Oh, partial. 18 inches only a partial? Against your main deck. Yeah, okay, makes sense. Okay, that's the DD pretty much sunk. We still got a CL limping around somewhere in the back. If it's even visible anymore. Okay. So right now you're seemingly somewhat focused on these. Okay, well done. Maybe Shandong can launch against Westphalen. Launch. I think the Miller is farther away. Yeah, she's 13 kilometers. She can't launch that far, right? No, 11. So if it's going to be a torpedo, it's up to the Shandong. There she goes. Torpedo's away. Is there anything that we can easily kill? Yes, here. Target Thetis. Ignore the battleships for a while. Just scratch those escorts off the roster. Especially the torpedo spammers. $500,000 worth of light cruiser. Those torpedoes might cause some flooding, but they have spread out so far that this ship just absolutely gives no shits about it. Nor should it. Cruisers are getting a bit bruised. So is shield bearer. Are you... Are you trying to push? Go faster, master. Go faster. You're not wrong, but I'm not sure if that's how that works. I'm not sure if that's what you can do. Funny tactic, that. Okay, we're going to target the Westphalen. Torpedo launchers and everything. I think this battleship is a bit safer. These DDs can't shoot very far, right? 11 clicks. Turn. We're now definitely very far removed. We're 30 clicks from each other. And I think that these two are going to have to make a stand. Although that's not something that this cruiser can do. Not against that level of firepower. Oh, we're getting some good damage in on the Westfalen here. Her buoyancy's crippled. Is that the 18-incher? No, if only. Well, there goes another hit. You're not a happy camper, are you, Westfalen? Bonk. Bonk. That's what happens if you forget your armor, dude. My cruisers have more armor than you. That's going to be a nice artificial reef worth 1.4 billion. Bonk. Now, these battleships don't go down easily, but they're not immortal. I mean, my ship is 374 million. It's putting this thing to shame. Josh, how do you feel about ramming the Thüringen? As a last grand gesture. Check on the other guys for a bit. What are you doing? Are you kiting these DDs along with you? That was kind of the plan, but the DDs aren't having it. Okay, fine. You guys can just leave. You guys can just leave. So you're going to disengage. Split up the div. And leave. Shield bearer is going to make a desperate / heroic last stand. Ideally killing off one of those ships. While Josh rams into those ships. But I think we won't get there. Haha! Never mind that plan. Damn, that was bad. Oh, more damage on the Westfalen. 17% buoyancy. Ow. Crippling amounts of damage here. Put some secondaries in the Karlsruhe. Come on, this is when the 3.9s get to work. Pretty please. What do you mean we don't have an angle? Range 10. Get to work, people. We're not badly listing. We got a little bit of flooding. It's not bad. I've had far worse and my ship still worked. Bonk. Little bit of damage. Okay, fine. Their armor is crippled. Use HE. Ooh! 18-inch right through the main belt. That's flooding amidships. And another one. Still got that monster ship coming after me, but it seems to be firing AP at such an angle that it can't pen. It's just ricocheting off the ship. They got about a 2% chance to pen. Of course, that won't last. That won't last. Yes! Sunk the Westfalen. Excellent. Now, I don't have a whole lot of salvos left on this ship. Because she'll start risking over... target this. With HE. Pretty good chance I'll accidentally hit 2 other ships. And who would like to go first? Missed. Fine. Missed again. Come on. Boom. Light cruiser Thetis taking a hit. Oh, this poor ship. Oh, it's broadside onto you. Okay, fine. Turn those turrets around. Ow. I cannot wait to unleash the cursed fish class upon these fuckers. Because this is going to be fairly vulnerable to torpedoes. Especially if you're launching 49 of them at the same time. I think, however, that this is the end of the shield bearer, because I cannot extract her. She can't fire anymore. She's listing so badly. These ships, Enigma Hunts, they've done a lot of work for me. And I really value their service. Unfortunately, for this particular version of her, this is the last stand. Boom. Down to 2% structural, 7% buoyancy, and here comes the final blow. A couple of torpedoes to the bow. Boom. That's the second battleship I've lost. This is getting out of hand. I fortunately have extracted this ship and her cruiser escort, so we're fine. And I still walked away with more victory points than I sacrificed. There's how you do it. So, 13,000 points. I eliminated one of their battleships. I lost one of my battleships. I cannot keep trading like this, but at least I got some progress. So, this campaign still has some fight left in it. Or at least the Germans do. Thankfully, I do believe that my new ships are just about ready. That is those new Cursed Fish class. Where are they? Here. They're both ready. In case you haven't seen these gorgeous pieces of engineering, I highly recommend that we put these things to work against those German super battleships. Because these are extremely unorthodox ships. They have a very small main gun. Well, relatively small. I mean, it's a 13... Yeah, it's a double 13-incher. But beyond that, it is torpedo launchers for days. Now, this can work really well. I.e., I torpedo something completely out of existence. Or it can go really poorly. And my torpedo launchers get destroyed, my crew dies, and I take massive amounts of damage. Which way this will go, we'll see. Probably in the next episode, as I'm really hoping these guys are going to get an encounter. So be sure to join me next time, and see just how many torpedoes I can put into the water. Thank you for watching this one, hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you soon for the next.